Hello everyone. So today you all are welcome to today's class. And today's class is very interesting. We are going to study invertible functions. Right? So earlier you have studied invertible matrices. Okay. So in today's class, invertible functions, and before that let me remind you of the topics and subtopics we have done in this chapter. Okay, so we have done relations and functions. The relation whole thing we have done, and in function we already have done types of functions, in which we have taken function is 1 the conditions, function is onto the conditions, and when the function is 1 and onto, it means when the function is bijective. So bijective function means function is both 1 and onto, and we also have studied in a previous session. So if the function is bijective, then it is invertible, right? So here you see function is invertible f from a to b. This function is invertible if and only if it is bijective. Now let's check. Suppose it is not bijective. Can it be invertible? I mean, in case f is not bijective, can the function be invertible? So as you know, when you have f is a function from a to b and f inverse is a function from b to a, right? So we have done in that bijective when we define invertible function. So in the class where we have studied function with 1 onto and bijective. In that particular class I am talking about. So we have studied if f from a to b is bijective, then it is invertible. And invertible function means what? F is invertible means inverse of the function exists. So if f is a function from a to b is invertible, f inverse is a function from b to a, right? And you know the conditions. I am not going to in that details now. Suppose now my point of discussion is, suppose function is not bijective. Okay, so tell me when the function is not bijective. Function will not be bijective in 3 cases. First, if the function is, it is not 1 okay, it may be onto, but it is not 1. Second condition, it is not onto, it may be 1, it is not onto. Third one is neither 1 nor onto. So these are the 3 cases the function is not bijective. So let me check. Suppose function is not bijective. So I am considering function is 1 but not onto. So if you see the arrow diagram, f is a function from a to b. A contains a, b, c. B contains x, y, z, t. So here it is very clear. Function is 1 but not onto. It is not onto because range of the function is not equal to codomain. Here range of the function is a proper subset of codomain. Now if I write here f inverse from, this is my f inverse, it is from b to a. So here you see a to x, in inverse x to a, b to y, inverse maps from y to b, c to z, inverse maps from z to c. Now here you see t is left. Okay, as per the definition of the function, f from a to b is a function, right? The relation f from a to b is a function if every element of a is associated with unique element of b, right? Here every element of this is not associated, so this one is left. So it means F inverse is not a function. So if the function is not 1 1, inverse of that function doesn't exist. Second case I have taken, here the function is not 1 1, you see it is a many one function, ax, bx, c, z, dy, okay, and the function is onto because range equal to codomain. So in this case, this function is not 1 1 but onto, right? Now if I take f inverse from b to a, just look at the mapping, x, y, z, x, a, x, b. Okay, now the function will be valid. F from a to b will be a function if every element of a is associated with unique element of b. Here you see x associated with a and x associated with b. It means association of x is not unique. It means this mapping cannot be called a function. So here, even if f is a function but not 1 1 but onto, f inverse cannot be a function. Okay, now from these two cases you can see if the function is 1 1 but not onto, yeah, if the function is onto but not 1 1, so in both the cases 1 1 not onto and onto but not 1 1, then both the cases, I mean if the function is not bijective, F inverse doesn't exist. Okay, doesn't exist. So it is clear why we should take bijective function in order to find inverse of the function. So first and foremost condition of the invertible function is the function, original function has to be bijective. If f is a function from a to b, it is 1 1 and onto, or you can say it is bijective, then inverse of the function exists and f inverse is a function from b to a. And here you can see whenever you take invertible function, so if the inverse exists, it is a mapping from b to a, right? And also here you see domain of f becomes codomain of f inverse, codomain of f becomes domain of f inverse. So basically domain and codomain are interchanged, and as we know function is bijective, codomain and range are equal. So here the range equal to codomain, again it becomes domain here, right? So first and foremost condition the function to be invertible is it should be bijective. So let's find out inverse of the function, and we have studied composition of the functions as well. So let's use it. So coming back to these methods of finding f inverse. So as just now we have discussed, in order to find inverse of the function, first of all, a first and foremost condition is f from a to b should be a bijective function, right? So whichever method you may use, if the function is not bijective, it cannot be invertible. Okay. Now methods of finding f inverse. So we have two methods in our hand. First method is using the concept of 1 1 and onto directly. And suppose for example, f is a function from a to b is bijective, and so this implies f is invertible and f inverse is a function from b to a. Okay, so it means your image, pre-image, everything will be interchanged here. So this means y equal to fx implies x equal to f inverse y. Okay, because every time we take x belongs to a, whenever we say f is onto, for every y belongs to b, there are some pre-images x belongs to a. Okay, and we take y equal to fx. So y equal to fx is bijective, it is invertible, so f inverse y will be equal to x. So this is the way to find out inverse of the function. Okay, and coming to the second method, as we have already studied f of g and g of f, composition of functions, and we also have studied, so function is, the composition function, suppose for example f is a function from a to b, g is another function from b to c, and g of f is a function from a to c, that we have studied. Okay, and also we have studied properties of composite function. So in that we have studied, if both f and g are 1 1, then g of f will be also 1 1. Similarly, if both f from a to b, g from b to c are onto functions, then g of f will also be an onto function. It means in general what we can conclude, if f and g are bijective functions, their composition will also be bijective, right? So it means the condition for invertible function will be, the function should be bijective. That is for sure, any method you use. Now in this case, if I take f is a function from a to b, okay, and g is another function from b to a, okay, and we have both f and g are bijective. That means your g of f from, so f from a to b, g from b to a, so gf from a to a, right? Using this concept, a to b, b to c, composition of f and g is a function from a to c. Here it is from a to a. Similarly, your f of g is a function from b to b. Okay, and when f and g both are bijective, g of f will be bijective, f of g will also be bijective. So it means both g of f and f of g are 1 1 and onto functions. So having said g of f, f of g both are onto and as well 1 1. So when you see, when g of f from a to a is onto, so it means for all x belongs to a, g of fx equal to x. So whenever we take y equal to fx, f is a function from a to b is onto, we say for every y belongs to b, there are preimages x belongs to a such that y equal to fx. In a similar logic, we are saying here, when g of f from a to a is onto function, for all x belongs to a, g of fx equal to x. Okay, so it means what? Whenever we say fx equal to x, f is called identity function. So g of fx equal to x means we can say it is an identity function. Similarly, when we say f of g function from b to b is onto, so it means for all y belongs to b, f of g y equal to y, because we are taking a single set, we have y belongs to b. So when we say f of g y equal to y, so again it is the case of identity function. This implies f of g equal to identity function. I may write here I y. So it means as we just discussed, f from a to b is bijective, g from b to a is bijective, and if both the functions are bijective, their compositions and that has to be bijective. So g of f is bijective, f of g is also bijective. So if g of f is bijective, so it means whenever the function is bijective, inverse of the function exists. So here you see g of f equal to identity function, f of g is also equal to identity function, right? And what we have taken here, f is a function from a to b, okay, is bijective. So it means f inverse, okay, so here you see, whenever you take this is bijective, it means f inverse exists. And what is it? And you are having g is a function from b to a. So as you have studied, whenever f is a function from a to b is bijective, it is invertible, and inverse, f inverse is a function from b to a. So it means here g is a function from b to a and it is also bijective. It means your f and g. So basically we can say f inverse equal to g. Okay, and in a more specific way, what we can write here, if you have f is a function from a to b, there is a function g from b to a, such that g of f and f of g both are equal to identity function. In that case, f and g both are invertible, means inverse of f will be equal to g and inverse of g will also be equal to f. So let's write in a proper way. So just to give a proper formal definition to invertible function by using composition, what we can take. So we have f is a function from a to b if it is invertible. It means if it is bijective. So f from a to b is invertible if there exists another function g from b to a such that g of f equal to ix. It means g of fx equal to x, g of f equal to identity function, and f of gy equal to y, means f of g equal to an identity function. We are writing it as f of g equal to iy. Okay, iy stands for identity function on set B, because y belongs to B. We take every time y belongs to B. So if you have f of g equal to identity function, g of f equal to identity function, then you can say g function g from b to a is called inverse of the function f from a to b. It means f inverse equal to g, or x equal to f inverse y, that is equal to gy. So now you have two methods of finding inverse of the functions. So both the methods are, correct. You can get full marks if you solve any one of the two methods in the exam. Okay, but sometimes what happens, whenever by using the first method, directly you are using bijective concept. So there you have to prove function is 1 1 and onto. Okay, function is 1 1, the children, that they do unmistakably. But while taking the onto case, to prove onto, that you have to prove range equal to codomain. So some of you might have problem in proving onto and onto function, means range equal to codomain, right? Though you know it, but still to write elaborately it may be for some of you it may be a problem. So in that case, whenever you cannot express your answer properly, you may lose marks there. Okay, so from that point of view, this is very direct. Whenever you have f from a to b and g from b to a, both are bijective, both are invertible. So here in that case, you are getting g of f equal to f of g equal to identity function. You see, unless the function is bijective, you cannot get g of f and f of g as identity functions. So here, very elaborately, you don't have to prove it is onto, right? So simply you can show g of f equal to g of fx is equal to x, means g of f equal to ix. Similarly, f of g y equal to y, which means f of g equal to iy. So because g of f equal to f of g equal to identity function, the function is invertible. So this is a very convenient method from that point of view. Okay, so but you are free to use any one of the two methods. Okay, so let's take some questions and I will show you by taking both the methods. Okay, so before we take some questions, let us wind up these concepts. Okay, just to add the properties of invertible functions. Okay, so then maybe after this we will take the questions. So first property is inverse of f from a to b is unique. So whichever method you may follow, you cannot have multiple inverses. And I think you have studied the similar concept in matrix after also. Your second one is f from a to b. If f from a to b is bijective, then f inverse from b to a is also bijective. It means whenever the function is bijective, its inverse exists and inverse will also be bijective. Third property you can say, so whenever you have f is a function, so this function is bijective, f from a to b is bijective. Okay, so if this is the case and f inverse of f means composition of f inverse and f, I mean f and f inverse or f inverse and f. So composition in both the cases are identity functions. F inverse of f equal to I a means it is x. Okay, so I a means identity function on x. So it means it should be f inverse of fx equal to x. Similarly, f of f inverse equal to ib. Okay, so it means what? F of f inverse y equal to y. Okay, ib means it is, see, we take y belongs to b, right? So ib means identity function on set b. Okay, so it means when it is bijective, so f inverse of f and f of f inverse both are identity function. Fourth property is whenever you take f from a to a means it is mapping on the same set. Instead of a to b, if f is a function from a to a and it is bijective, so it means you will have f inverse exists, right? So it means you can have f inverse is a function from a to a. So what you will be getting here? So f of f equal to I. Okay, ix, I जो भी ले लो. So it means f inverse equal to f. So it means the inverse of the function is the function itself. Okay. So here one more thing also you can just now conclude. I mean f inverse of inverse equal to the function itself. Okay. And the last property you can say, fifth one, if f from a to b, g from b to c is they are invertible, so then g of f from a to c is invertible, and g of f, inverse of g of f equal to f inverse of g inverse. Okay, so whenever we say f is a function from a to b, g is a function from b to c, both are invertible, means both are bijective. So when f and g both are bijective, g of f will be bijective, f of g will be bijective. So it is bijective means it will be invertible. So g of f ka inverse equal to f inverse of g inverse. So these are the some of the properties we can use. So now the concept part is over, and in the next class the total focus will be on the questions how to find inverse of a function. Whichever method you like, you can apply that. Either you apply bijective function concept directly by getting the function 1 1 and on 2, okay, and all, or you can say by using composition of functions. So that is totally up to you, right? So thank you so much. Let's proceed to the next class.